But we're kicking off today's proceedings by moving our microscope over the petri dish of celebrity for this week's Showbiz Spotlight. First up, this week we've learned that for the last 50 years, bless them, 2 Cliff Richard fans, there they are, have seen their Bachelor Boy idol more than 8,000 times. They're called Cliffettes, everyone. And in all, they've travelled more than 5 times around the world and spent £1 million plus in tickets, travel and memorabilia. Now, that is devotion.
£1 million?
£1 million. 5 times around the world. So can you understand that level of devotion? And have you ever gone to extreme lengths to get up close and personal with one of your idols?
Well, I say good for them, actually, because, I mean, Cliff Richard I am actually related to. He's my mother's cousin's husband's cousin's cousin, and we're very close. So I can understand following Cliff.
Have you ever spoken to Cliff?
No, I think he actually runs away if he ever hears my name. He goes, take that woman away. But Paul McCartney, the Beatles, of course, was all, you know, you always had one. Yeah. And Paul McCartney was it. And I actually, if he came on this show, I would not speak. I would be paralysed.
We'll get him
I could not. I mean, I have to say, I met Steve McQueen once, but I was sick all over him, so that changed that. And I met Alan Alda on here. You know Alan Alda from MASH? Yeah. And he sat next to her, and I'd read his book and everything, and I just went, so I'm useless.
I do know exactly where they're coming from, because I do have some lovely fans that do follow me everywhere. I'm so blessed with them, and I love them to bits. There's about 10 of them who come to nearly everything I do, and one particular chap, Rob, love him to bits. He comes to everything I do. I walked out of the Sydney Opera House. I've made my debut in the Sydney Opera House. Walked out, and he was there, bless him. He'd come all the way to Australia, and to Cape Town. He came to see me. But talking of Cliff, I did get the chance to sing with Cliff once. Oh, I was so excited. We were doing a charity benefit for his tennis charity, you know, and I was going to sing White Christmas with him. I was so excited because I used to have a picture of him under my pillow when I was 5. So he's been around that long, because I'm not, you know, very young myself. But I was so excited. My husband was there, and I said, look, if you don't do anything else for me, will you film me singing with Cliff Richard? Because he's a legend, isn't he, you know? So Peter said, yes, yes, love, I will. And he was all night concentrating. Got to get this right, got to get this right. You know, he's there with his camera. Got it. Zzz. Yeah, I got it, love, I got it. We looked back afterwards. It was fog. Total fog. It failed me completely. So we didn't speak for at least 5 minutes.
Well, you see, I think that a teenage obsession with a pop star is a really healthy thing. I think it's a safe gateway to romance. It's a great way to experience all those feelings of kind of lust and angst and, you know, and for me, I spent all of those emotions on George Michael. Wasted, I know, my gaydar wasn't on them, girls.
Well, I've got to say, Kate, I'm with you on George Michael, and I went to Wham! The final.
I'm so jealous.
No, I was there, a proper George Michael fan, but I actually went to New York to stalk Liza Minnelli.
No.
I did. I did. I say I'm a gay man in a woman's body. I went to New York. She was taking over Julie Andrews and Victor Victoria. And me and my mum went to New York. We booked tickets. I remember it was -5, and I had this big coat on, this big stupid hat. And I stood outside the stage door, and we were waiting for ages. It was freezing, and we had a disposable camera. And I said to my mum, I said, when she comes out, I'm going to put my face next to hers, take the photo quick, right? So eventually there's this kerfuffle, she comes out, and I put my face next to her, and this hand comes in and pushes me face out. So the photo I've got is this hand pushing my face out, and Liza going, that is right. 6 months later, I do Celebrity Big Brother, and I get to play Roxy Hart in Chicago. One night, there's a knock on my dressing room door. I open the door, and Liza Minnelli's there. She come to see me, and she walked in. She come to see me. Oh, she didn't remember me, no. She just come to see me in the shower, and she walked in, and she went, oh, I loved your Roxy. The name on everybody's lips is gonna be... And I'm looking, I thought, if only she knew that photo 6 months ago.
Exactly. Well, let's see if this gets you excited, girls, because next up, the Aston Martin DB5, driven by James Bond in Goldfinger, will go up for auction later this year, where it's expected to fetch a cool £4 million. Now, it's thought to be the only remaining car with the trademark Bond gadgets and gizmos. So, would this get you hot under the collar, behind the wheel? Would you like to have a little ride with the Bond DB5?
Any vintage car. I'm a sucker for vintage cars. Many years ago, we had an Aston, a very old one. It didn't cost very much money in those days, but it was gorgeous to wear. But Arthur, my Arthur, who I've always been in love with, who died a long time ago, had a yellow E-Type. Now that's a car.
Oh, yes.
So I think I've lived in car showrooms all my life, and I've got to think about. But vintage cars are so sexy, especially that one. You know, you can get the guns out, and you get. It's a play car.
You know what? You might as well be speaking French because I don't. What's an E-Type?
Really?
Oh, Kate!
Okay, that's a Jaguar, right?
Yes.
But I just know. Do you know what? They just don't do anything for me. Cars, as long as they're warm and they're safe. I wish I could get more excited by them, but it just leaves me cold.
Well, I'm with you on that. The most pleasure I've ever got, 17 years of age, doing summer season in Weymouth, and I bought a Vauxhall Cavalier, and it was custard coloured. So it's me.
I had the green one of
Did
those.
you?
We called it a bogey. Yeah,
Well, I call
disgusting.
I call mine my custard cav, and it had a beaded seat cover, and I thought I was the dogs. I was so
I have to
shocked.
say, I'm with Sherry because I'm a sucker for a vintage car. I mean, my dad used to drive cars that were so rusty you could see the road through the holes in the bottom. And my kids used to sing, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, Grandad drives a rusty car. And they still do. But, so when my first boyfriend had a Triumph Stag, and looking back, I think it was much more the car than him that I loved. I think they're fabulous. But my first car was a
Stag,
Fiat.
not the
I'm a bit like
Stud.
you. Fiat, yes, a Fiat. It just made me feel
It's
so
just the joy of
Italian.
That first
Which
car
is
you get,
great.
nothing, whatever flash
your
car
first
you
car.
get, you can't repeat that
Yeah,
joy.
it's
It's
like my
lovely.
first man.
I don't know. My first car, I had to shut the door with a bit of rope.
Oh, yeah.